Like, what killed the dinosaurs? Well,
Right.
it wasn't just one thing, you know?
Right.
There was like a whole bunch of things happened in a row. If there are a lot of aliens, well, I mean, the invasion ship slash...
Do you hear about that fucking object that's hurtling towards Earth at like 130,000 miles an hour?
No, that might solve all our problems.
Musk sounds the alarm. Recently, Elon Musk did what no one at NASA dared. He spoke out. He warned that 3I Atlas is no ordinary comet. The timing couldn't have been more suspicious. Just weeks earlier, telescopes around the world caught the strange object's tail doubling in size overnight, something no typical comet does. Official sources tried to calm things down, calling it routine outgassing, the usual dust and ice melting near the sun, but Musk wasn't buying it. He pointed to the first red flag: its insane speed. Atlas is tearing through space at more than 255,000 kilometers per hour, a speed no known gravity assist could explain. Comets don't just do that, Musk warned, and he wasn't the only one raising eyebrows.
NASA detected a mysterious object speeding toward Earth, and some actual bona fide experts think it might not be your typical space rock, or maybe any kind of rock, or a natural phenomenon at all.
But that wasn't all. Musk reminded everyone about Oumuamua, the very first interstellar object ever spotted, which also behaved strangely, showing unexplained acceleration as it left our solar system. Back then, scientists brushed it off as invisible gas jets. Yet here we are again, with Atlas acting even stranger, and the same excuse being recycled. Musk said flat out that the similarities between these two cosmic visitors were too sharp to ignore.
New out-of-this-world discovery has some asking, what in the world is this? Take a look. NASA scientists say it's a comet. That's what they say. They've named it the 3I Atlas interstellar object, which was discovered last month.
Then came the statement that sent shockwaves online. Musk questioned why NASA, the most advanced space agency on Earth, was so quiet. In his words, their silence didn't look like caution. It looked like a cover-up.
We've got some fresh images of 3I Atlas, a third ever interstellar object observed from Earth, currently racing through our solar system.
Coming from a man who's worked side by side with NASA for years, that was no small accusation. His comments hit deep. Was NASA trying to prevent chaos or hiding something they couldn't explain? Since that moment, amateur astronomers have flooded forums with telescope footage trying to decode Atlas's wild glow and fast-growing tail. Some said Musk was exaggerating to hype himself up, but others argued he'd gain nothing from sparking fear, unless he really knew something big. Mainstream scientists urged calm, repeating the same natural theories, but Musk had already shifted the conversation. He forced the world to look at Atlas with new suspicion, dragging it from quiet research circles straight into the global spotlight. And that left one chilling question hanging in the air. If Elon Musk is this worried, what does he know that we don't? That warning reignited the world's obsession with 3I Atlas, pushing experts back to its earliest sightings, the first clues that something about this visitor never made sense. The object, now known as 3I Atlas, first appeared on the radar of Hawaii's Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, ATLAS, in late July 2025. But what it caught wasn't just another rock drifting through space. ATLAS was designed to detect asteroids that could hit Earth. Yet its cameras picked up something faint, strange, and almost ghost-like. At first, it looked harmless. It's just a dim, blurry speck sliding across the stars. Astronomers logged it as another interstellar comet, the third ever found after the cigar-shaped Oumuamua in 2017 and the wild Borisov in 2019. But even in those first few hours, something felt off and deeply unsettling. Its entry path was traced straight back towards Sagittarius, the region pointing directly at the galactic center. That's one of the most gravitationally chaotic zones in the entire Milky Way. Normally, interstellar debris drifts in from random directions, but this one came from the heart of galactic turbulence. As Musk later said, that's no casual detail. Objects from that region carry the mark of hidden cosmic forces. Then came the size estimates, and they were terrifying. Based on its faint glow and blistering speed, early calculations put Atlas somewhere between 5 and 50 kilometers wide. For perspective, the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago was only about 10 kilometers across. Even at its smallest, Atlas was big enough to cause planet-wide destruction if it ever crossed Earth's path. Scientists reassured the public there was no collision risk, but the sheer scale sent chills down spines worldwide. Early images didn't help either. Observatories in Chile and Spain managed to capture it, but what showed up was strange. Not a rocky shape, not a classic comet tail, just a smooth, glowing sphere of light. Unlike Borisov, which had an obvious comet tail, or Oumuamua, which tumbled erratically, Atlas looked unnervingly perfect, like it was designed that way. Rumors spread fast. Musk allegedly referenced a quote from an unnamed astrophysicist who warned that objects like this don't just wander. They either follow forces we don't yet understand, or they're following something else entirely. Most scientists brushed it off as wild talk, but behind the scenes, the whispers were growing louder. Atlas's speed, path, and eerie symmetry were already strange enough, but things took a darker turn in early August. New images from the Subaru telescope in Hawaii and the Very Large Telescope in Chile revealed something shocking. The object wasn't just moving, it was brightening too fast, way beyond what physics predicted. A normal comet heats up smoothly near the sun, releasing gas in predictable waves. Atlas, however, was flaring in bursts, like it was reacting to something unseen. Some scientists blamed trapped gases exploding from within, but others, including Avi Loeb, dared to suggest the unthinkable. Maybe those bursts were artificial. No one could prove it, but the doubt was already spreading like wildfire through the scientific community. What truly shook people wasn't just the numbers, it was how fast this thing was changing. 3I Atlas seemed to shift in days, not months, as if it were adjusting itself. Most of the public had no clue. The strange data stayed buried deep in astronomy databases. But for Elon Musk and a few bold scientists, these weren't random quirks. They were warning signs of something far darker. Then came the real shocker. By late August 2025, Atlas suddenly sprouted a tail, one that made zero sense. Astronomers were left speechless. The Pan-STARRS Observatory in Hawaii and the European Southern Observatory in Chile captured stunning images. A bright razor-sharp tail slicing through the darkness. Unlike typical comet tails that form slowly as sunlight vaporizes ice, this one appeared almost overnight. At first, scientists tried to draw comparisons to Borisov, the 2019 interstellar visitor that behaved like a normal comet. But Atlas wasn't following any known rulebook. Its tail didn't just grow. It doubled in length overnight, something that barely exists in comet science. One NASA researcher even admitted during a briefing, "We're watching rapid evolution before our eyes." Privately though, insiders confessed it was more than unusual. It was terrifying. Musk jumped in immediately, reminding everyone that Oumuamua, the first interstellar object, never formed a tail at all, even after brushing close to the sun. If Oumuamua baffled scientists for not acting like a comet, Atlas was now doing the exact opposite, behaving too much like one. Musk pointed out the pattern. If one interstellar visitor shows no activity, and the next one erupts unnaturally fast, that's not coincidence. That's something we don't understand. The data coming in made things even weirder. Normally, a comet's tail is made of water vapor, dust, and gases like carbon dioxide released when the sun heats its icy surface. But Atlas was breaking that rule too. Instruments from NASA and the European Space Agency showed its tail wasn't floating away like vapor. It was fighting back against the solar wind. It shimmered with energy, almost as if it were charged. Comets can form plasma tails, streams of charged particles, but this was different. Atlas's tail was too strong, too sharp, almost mechanical. It didn't look like gas escaping. It looked like something powering up. Some astronomers whispered it resembled the exhaust of a massive engine. Musk himself posed the question that froze every newsroom. Are we seeing chemistry, or are we looking at a disguised exhaust plume? Officially, scientists kept their tone measured. They suggested Atlas might have strange buried ices releasing gas in violent bursts, or that interstellar objects just behave differently. But off the record, a few quietly admitted what no one wanted to say out loud, that this might not be a comet at all. Atlas might not be moving on its own, and that's where things get dark. Its strange bursts of acceleration and that unnatural tail sparked a terrifying idea. What if it's being steered? Once news of the tail hit social media, panic erupted. Amateur skywatchers everywhere started posting telescope clips showing the streak stretching longer every single night. Musk's non-stop warnings gave shape to those fears. If that glowing tail was really exhaust, then Atlas wasn't just drifting, it was navigating. Trying to calm the storm, scientists dug deeper into the object's chemical fingerprint. What they found next only made things weirder. Alien chemistry. Unlike typical comets packed with frozen water, Atlas's chemical makeup was completely off balance. Early spectrographic readings showed that its coma, the glowing cloud around it, had way more carbon dioxide than water vapor. That's the reverse of what we see in every normal comet. Usually, comets are water-rich, with CO2 playing a smaller role. But if those numbers were right, Atlas wasn't just unique, it was chemically alien. Some commentators noticed something even stranger. The gas ratio looked closer to Mars's thin atmosphere than any known comet. Scientists urged patience, saying that Atlas might simply have formed in a different kind of star system, but the comparison set the internet on fire. Why would an interstellar object's chemistry look like a planet's atmosphere instead of the icy dust we've studied for centuries? Then came another twist. The James Webb Space Telescope and other observatories detected strong traces of carbon monoxide. That's a fragile molecule, easily destroyed by cosmic radiation after millions of years in space. Its presence was shocking. Had Atlas somehow protected it? Or was that material recently exposed? Or even produced? A few daring researchers whispered a wild theory. Maybe Atlas carried remnants of a planetary atmosphere, frozen into its core, the shattered remains of a lost world ejected from its home system. Astrobiologists jumped into the debate. Some said it could be a shard of a destroyed planet, an icy tombstone from a supernova's aftermath. Others pushed an even crazier angle: technology. Certain advanced propulsion systems could theoretically use carbon monoxide as fuel. If that were true, Atlas's chemistry might not be random at all, it might be engineered. That's when defense analysts stepped in with what they called the camouflage question. What if a spacecraft covered itself in frozen layers of CO2, water, and dust to pass as a comet? Its tail would look perfectly natural. Its light signature would fool telescopes, and underneath there could be metal, structure, or even power. Most scientists called that impossible, but a few quietly admitted that such a disguise would be the smartest way to cross a foreign solar system unnoticed. Each new reading made the "just a comet" explanation crumble a little more. Officials urged calm, saying the evidence wasn't conclusive, but NASA's continued silence only made people more suspicious. The chemistry itself wasn't just strange, it was suggestive. When paired with Atlas's unnatural movement, precise navigation, and blistering speed, the mystery deepened. Every planetary flyby looked too perfect, almost calculated. Astronomers always start by measuring speed to trace an object's origin, and with 3i Atlas, that very first reading set off alarm bells. But the real red flag wasn't speed, it was the path. Atlas wasn't slicing through space at a random angle like normal interstellar objects. Instead, it was flying within the same flat disk where Earth, Mars, and Jupiter orbit the Sun. That's not normal. Interstellar visitors almost always enter at odd tilted angles, not cleanly aligned with planetary orbits. Yet Atlas glided through that plane with surgical precision, as if it knew exactly where it was going. For 3i Atlas to line up so perfectly with the orbital plane of the planets didn't look random. Not even close. Some astronomers began whispering that this might not be coincidence at all. When researchers charted Atlas's course more precisely, their concern spiked. The object was set to pass unusually close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. Each of those encounters looked exactly like a gravity assist maneuver, the same trick human spacecraft use to gain speed without burning fuel. In simple terms, spacecraft steal energy by swinging near a planet, letting gravity fling them forward. But to see an interstellar object doing that didn't look like drifting, it looked like steering. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb decided to run the math. His team calculated that the odds of a random object threading such a perfect path, hitting multiple near-planet flybys in a row, were roughly 1 in 20,000. For scientists, that was an enormous red flag. For Elon Musk, it was all the proof he needed to sound the alarm. Numbers like that don't scream chance, he said. They scream navigation. Then came another chilling twist: the sun blackout window. In late October 2025, Atlas will pass behind the sun from Earth's perspective. For several weeks, it'll be completely hidden by solar glare, making it impossible for telescopes to track. Even some NASA insiders admitted they were uneasy. Musk called it out directly. This would be the perfect moment for an intelligent craft to change course undetected. Officially, NASA said nothing. No statement, no update, just silence. And that silence hit louder than any warning. If Atlas was really just another comet, why would they care about a hidden maneuver? But if it wasn't, why weren't they preparing the public? That question dragged Musk, and everyone watching, into a darker possibility. If Atlas is being controlled, why disguise it as a comet? That's when the wild theory gained traction. A comet as camouflage. Elon Musk has always been a lightning rod for space controversy, but when he amplified Avi Loeb's theory, even scientists started debating it seriously. The concept was simple but terrifying. A comet could be the perfect disguise for alien technology. Here's why. A spacecraft hidden inside layers of ice, dust, and rock would look exactly like a comet. Telescopes would see only the glowing halo, the coma, and the long bright tail that forms when solar heat vaporizes ice. To human instruments, it would look completely natural. For an advanced civilization, this would be the ultimate stealth mode, and the disguise works on multiple levels. Deep space is brutal. Radiation, high-energy particles, and micrometeorites constantly bombard anything that travels through it. Human spacecraft need heavy armor or magnetic shields to survive, which makes them bulky and obvious. But a comet shell does the job naturally. A few meters of frozen dust and rock could absorb radiation and micro-impacts without giving away what's underneath. It's protection and camouflage in one. Then there's the outgassing effect. When comets approach the sun, their ice vaporizes, forming a glowing tail. If a spacecraft were hidden inside, any exhaust or heat emissions from its engines would be masked by the natural gas and dust cloud. Musk even pointed to the moment Atlas's tail doubled in size overnight, asking, was that really just gas or a controlled burst? The timing was just too suspicious. And then came the plasma mystery. Instruments detected unusually strong plasma activity around Atlas, and not the random kind. Plasma, a superhot gas of charged particles, is common in lightning and stars, but on Earth it's notoriously unstable. In comets, plasma tails form when the solar wind pushes against gas emissions. But Atlas's plasma signature looked too clean, too organized. It wasn't chaotic, it was structured. Physicists noticed that the plasma around Atlas seemed to flow in a focused, energetic stream, instead of scattering like normal comet plasma. Musk took it further, suggesting what no one else dared. Maybe this wasn't natural at all. Maybe the plasma was part of an artificial shield, a kind of energy barrier protecting whatever might be hiding inside. If that's true, the line between nature and engineering starts to blur in the most unsettling way imaginable. Musk compared it to human history. Explorers, armies, even spies have always used disguise and deception to survive. From ancient warriors painting their armor to look like the enemies, to modern submarines hiding beneath the ocean, stealth has always been power. So if humanity mastered camouflage on Earth, Musk argued, why wouldn't an advanced civilization do the same in space? A comet disguise wouldn't just hide, it would blend in perfectly, slipping right through our solar system while everyone argued over whether it was just another rock. Deception is survival. If humans have used camouflage to explore, invade, and conquer for centuries, why wouldn't an advanced alien civilization do the same? On a galactic scale, a disguised probe could slide into a star system, collect data, test reactions, and vanish again, all while the locals argued over whether it was just a comet. What haunted Elon Musk most wasn't only the bizarre data, it was NASA's silence. Independent scientists argued in public, journalists speculated endlessly, yet the world's most powerful space agency said almost nothing. Musk claimed that wasn't caution, it was fear. If NASA even suspected that Atlas might not be a comet, he said, they might have decided the truth was too disruptive to reveal. Imagine the chaos. Admitting the existence of alien technology would shake governments, religions, and economies overnight. Musk's warning hit harder when he invoked the words of Stephen Hawking. Years earlier, Hawking had issued one of humanity's darkest cautions, a warning that now sounds eerily prophetic. He said, if aliens visit us, the outcome might be similar to when Columbus landed in America, which didn't end well for the Native Americans. He was talking about Columbus's arrival in 1492, the event that triggered centuries of colonization, conquest, and collapse of entire civilizations. Hawking's point was brutal. If Earth ever encounters a far more advanced species, the result probably wouldn't be friendship. It would be domination, exploitation, or even annihilation. Musk drew that parallel straight to Atlas, asking the question that chills even hardened scientists. What if 3i Atlas means Earth has already been noticed? The possibility split into two terrifying paths. If Atlas is natural, it might still be the shattered corpse of a lost world, a fragment of a planet torn apart in some distant system. But if it's artificial, then its purpose could be far more deliberate. It might be here as a silent observer, mapping worlds and scanning data, or as a scout, testing planetary defenses before something bigger arrives. And Musk didn't need a Hollywood scenario to make that threat real. He reminded people that destruction doesn't require a massive strike. Even a small fragment could obliterate cities. The 1908 Tunguska event in Siberia proved that. A single object, barely 12 meters across, exploded mid-air with the power of a large nuclear bomb, flattening over 800 square miles of forest. If something even a fraction of Atlas's size, or worse, the object itself, ever hit Earth, it wouldn't be a disaster. It would be the end of civilization. That's why whispers began spreading about a rumored classified NASA project called SHIELD 3. Allegedly, it's a rapid response defense initiative, a plan to intercept or disable fast-moving interstellar threats. But the technical hurdles are overwhelming. Atlas is flying through space at a staggering 255,000 kilometers per hour. That's 152,000 miles per hour. Matching or redirecting that speed would require technology we simply don't have yet. And yet, the rumor refuses to die. Some believe SHIELD 3 already exists, hidden, waiting, maybe even tracking Atlas right now. Others think it's still theory on paper. Either way, Musk's warning keeps echoing across every discussion board and newsroom. If something this advanced has already entered our solar system, it's too late to pretend it's just ice and dust. So what is 3i Atlas really, Orm? A comet, a relic, or a machine disguised as one? Whatever the truth is, Musk's final words still hang in the air like a warning flare. If it's watching us, it's already too close. See you in the next one. And don't forget to like and subscribe because this story is just beginning. At best, Earth could launch a probe just to keep an eye on it. At worst, humanity stands completely defenseless against whatever intentions Atlas might have. That's exactly why NASA's silence feels so unsettling. If there's truly no way to stop Atlas, maybe officials are hoping to just stay quiet and ride out its passing without sparking global panic. But ignoring Stephen Hawking's warning won't make the risk disappear. If Atlas is a disguised probe, the real danger might not be impact at all. It could be surveillance, data gathering, or even testing us. History has shown that observation always comes before conquest, and that thought alone should terrify everyone. The final moment of truth is near. In late October 2025, Atlas will slip behind the sun, hidden from every telescope on Earth. For weeks, no one will know what it's doing. When it reappears, astronomers will track its new trajectory. If the path stays natural, maybe it's just a comet. But if that course shifts, even slightly, and will be seen to act swags in ways physics can't explain, then there will be no denying it anymore. That will mean Atlas was never a comet at all. The universe might already be watching, and Atlas could be the first proof. So what do you think Atlas really is? A natural wonder, or something far beyond our imagination? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because when Atlas comes back into view, we'll be here to break down what happens next. See you on the next one.